Good morning, and what's up? Today we're going to be talking about a very interesting topic, which is Nihonjin fashion. So yeah, if you're a beginner and you're interested in this unique genre of fashion, I'll be showing you and guiding you through a few stuff. So come join us. So first of all, the aesthetics. Koreans may have their unlimited supply of Balenciagas, but Japanese fashion emphasizes more on its relaxed shape and silhouette, and that's what makes it very unique and special. With thousands of brands everywhere, it may be hard to find something that you like. So today I'll be guiding you, and hopefully you find something that sparks your interest. So let's go! So in this video, I'll be breaking it into 3 parts. So 3 tiers of brands. So the first tier, this is the beginner brand, like GU, Muji, Uniqlo. The second tier will be Harajuku startups, like well, this is my personal favorite, Chroma Gear, Lad Musician, and other stuff. And the third tier is the high fashion stuff, like the really expensive stuff. We have guys like Yohji Yamamoto, Komedi Gakon, and some other stuff as well. Alright, so let's get started. So assuming you're new to this genre of fashion, which is Japanese fashion, I recommend starting off with the basic beginner brands. So here are some examples of some beginner brands that you might want to look into. So while GU is only Japan exclusive, Uniqlo and Muji stores can be found all around the world, or you may even have one in your own city. If you're tight on budget, but you want to achieve that Nihonjin aesthetics, Uniqlo is an awesome place to start, because Uniqlo has a lot of base pieces, like base, basically what base means is just color, it doesn't have any patterns. And yeah, you can collect a lot of them and they become like your essential building blocks to creating your own style. Alright, so for the sake of this guide, I'll be focusing more on Uniqlo. So let's take a look at the Uniqlo collections. You might be overwhelmed by all the Uniqlo collections, but don't worry, the number one collection you should be focusing on is the Uniqlo U series. So Uniqlo U basically is like, it takes basic clothes and puts it in a very interesting silhouette that is like very Nihonjin, and also it has like this minimalistic, futuristic, like tech wear ninja kind of vibe, so you might like that. The first t-shirt that I recommend buying from Uniqlo is this, the Uniqlo U Boxy Tee, and this is an amazing piece to start off with because I personally own it as well. It has very high thick cotton, it has very high thick quality cotton. It is relatively cheap. It has that boxy, oversized Nihonjin look, and yeah, it's just very nice. Well, you can buy it from Uniqlo for relatively cheap. I think it's like around $15 or something. Or if you're like me and you just want to save as much money as possible, is with the price of buying one brand new shirt, you can buy 3 used shirts from thrift stores. You can basically collect every single Uniqlo UT in every single color, and that is what I've been doing for a while. It's a really good shirt, that's what I'm trying to tell you. Other than the shirt, Uniqlo also has a lot of nice pants to match your shirt with, like this easy fit pants. It has a very very open look to it, but trust me, like when you match this with your boxy tee, it looks very nice, and it's relatively cheap as well. Alright, tier 2. So you've bought a couple of Uniqlo tees and pants, and now you're thinking of expanding your wardrobe. Welcome to the Harajuku startup brands. So, located in the middle of Tokyo, Harajuku is one of the world's most well-known fashion centers. And to get a taste of what it looks like, to get a taste of Harajuku fashion, I recommend browsing through this Instagram at Tokyo Fashion. It is a really good source, a really good place for you to get inspiration, and it gives you the taste of what things are like in Harajuku. Why is this tier 2, you might ask? It's because Harajuku, being the fashion center of like Japan or even the world, if it weren't for Milan, there's a brand out there that exactly fits your specific niche. So for example, if you like really colorful, bubbly, kawaii style thing, you might like stuff like 6% Doki, for example. Or if you want some very interesting shoes, maybe check out Wish Shoes and yeah, Spank Love. Very interesting name. So for those of you who are more into the avant-garde scene and you want something that is like Rick Owens inspired, that is like tech wear but not really tech wear, and you want to look like the doctor from the Black Plague, you might want to take a look into these kind of stuff like Bishol or I'm gonna butcher the name, K Inzil Ganger Official. And yeah, Lad Musician is also pretty good as well. If you like futuristic stuff, then I highly recommend checking out Chroma Gear, because yeah, Chroma Gear is pretty good. And for those of you who like nature, earth inspired, like the rice fields kind of vibe, like what I'm wearing, then you might like brands like Wonder Mountain Irie or OV Studios. So OV Studios is just a collective of brands basically that just sell at the same place. Or you might like brands like Freedom from Common Sense. I really like the name choices of some of these brands. So whatever style that you may want, I'm pretty sure there's a brand out there that covers that exact niche. So go searching on Instagram. Alright, so tier 3. So this is like the big boys of Nihonjin fashion. So we're gonna be talking about high fashion stuff. So if you think about it, like the Harajuku startup brands that I mentioned earlier, they're basically competing in a battle royale to not go bankrupt. And those who survive, those very lucky few who survive and become pioneers in their own niches, will slowly gain reputation and will be considered like one of these high fashion brands. Yeah, so you might be thinking like, hey, isn't every single Harajuku startup brand a high fashion brand? And yes, you're all right, because some of the stuff can be pretty expensive. But the thing is that the brands I'll be mentioning in this so-called high fashion brand is basically in a completely different class than all of those Harajuku startups that I mentioned earlier. So the pioneers of this avant-garde movement can be broken down to two big brands, which are Yoji Yamamoto and also Kome de Gakon, or Japanese people just like to call it CDG for short. So just by walking around in Harajuku, I can assure that you will find someone wearing either one of these brands, either CDG or Yoji. Alright, so I won't go into much detail of like its history and its different branches and all that, because that can be a whole video for itself. But with decades of collections, a design philosophy that defies the norm decades ago, like in the 80s and 90s, brands like Yoji Yamamoto and CDG have created a name for themselves worldwide, and they are by far the most important brands in the Harajuku fashion scene. And yes, a lot of their stuff costs a lot of money. So like you can think of these brands as the end game basically. So you start off with like Uniqlo tees or Muji tees, and then maybe you get like one or two pieces, like staple pieces from the startup Harajuku brands, and then I don't know, maybe you become really rich or something, and then you can invest in those Yoji stuff and CDG stuff. So are you ready to buy your first Uniqlo U boxy tee? Well, I hope you are. In this video, I probably only mentioned 0.1% of what is actually out there, and it's completely up to you really to explore and find the brands that most represents you, because that is what fashion is about. It's about self-expressionism. So basically, like, you're showing a part of yourself through clothes, and I think it's really cool. So remember to use Instagram to your advantage, because Instagram is basically like the best place for you to find a lot of these lesser known brands, because sometimes they can be buried under this ocean of startups, of like startup Harajuku brands. So make sure to use Instagram, and also save those posts that give you fashion inspirations so you can refer to them in the future. Are the stuff you're trying to buy like too expensive? Well, using Instagram, you can also find like cheap alternatives that give you the same look, or you can just go to any thrift stores and get secondhand stuff. Alright, so that's it. Thanks for watching the video. I'll be doing more and more videos covering like Harajuku fashion stuff, and I think it's really cool and interesting because, like, yeah, it's cool and interesting. Okay, so thanks for watching. Make sure you please like the video, and subscribe to see more of these kind of stuff, because yeah, there'll be more coming really soon. So yeah, thanks for watching, and please subscribe. Bye bye.